You know, it's like kind of nice actually. Alright, give me a sec. Alright, so now that I finished inhaling my copium, turns out I don't think Kashtira is all that bad. You know, I mean I played this, maybe, you know, this is just end of month stuff and like Master Duel players are just not good, but I mean this deck is like, this performed crazy when I tried to climb with this. Like I got a 14 win streak with fucking Kashtira in master rank. I did not brick once over the entire time. I don't think I bricked once with this deck in my entire climb. Like this deck is just, I know it sounds crazy. I mean look at this Pathfinder Gamma Unicorn, like Jesus Christ, bro. I've been drawing hands like these all day, like all fucking week. So yeah, this is Kashtira. We don't have to spend much time on the standard stuff, like the obviously you run the Unicorn, obviously you run the Theos, you run the Fenrir, and you run the Shifter, and you run the Maxis and the stuff like that. And I think if you're not running Planet Pathfinder right now and you still want to play Kashtira, like you're doing it wrong. You gotta run Pathfinder. This Gravesoft is the best card in your deck, so you gotta find it, and unfortunately that means playing Pathfinder. But yeah, let's talk about the interesting part of the deck, the actual quote unquote cool part of the deck. Okay, this here, this rank 7 here, Galaxy Tomahawk. This card is like insane. I made a video on Kashtira before and I kind of downplayed this, but actually just having this package of Tomahawk, Link Spider, Security Dragon, and Saryuja Skuldred is absolutely insane. Like, you don't have to even do anything crazy with Tomahawk. You notice we're not running any main deck bricks. You're not trying to do the Womble combo end on like 4 or 5 interruptions negate board that ends on that like dies to 1 interruption. You're actually just using this to go into Saryuja, and this actually helps play through interruption, which I'll get to a bit later. But just if you're playing that competent deck, which, you know, I know this is Kashtira, but I believe Kashtira is at least somewhat competent of a deck. Drawing 4 cards and being able to sculpt your hand is more than enough to win the game, especially since Skuldred also gives you a special summon. So, when are you actually going into this? Well, you're not going into this every game. This isn't like the TCG where the Heat Soul Barons, where they actually do try to go into the Heat Soul line every single game because they don't have a Rise Charge, so they don't have anything better to end on really. Here you only go into Tomahawk really in like a couple situations. One of them is when you have a hand that doesn't make a Rise Heart, so that's like, you know, not basically that means not open Unicorn, but you have any other 2 Kashtira monsters. That could be Fenrir by itself, or it could be, most commonly, it's Ogre and Rise Heart. And I'm sure you've probably noticed right now, we're running triple Ogre and 4 Rise Hearts, including the Reinforcement Army, which is way more than like any normally sane person runs in Kashtira, especially the Ogre, because it's not like, at least if you draw Rise Heart, you don't have to search, and it's an extender. Ogre is not really an extender because it's a level 7 monster, so if you draw this with your other level 7 monsters, then the Ogre actually doesn't do too much for you. But Ogre does add necessary consistency just because it's a level 7 body that you can just special summon. It's a level 7 Kashtira body, so that gives you Theos' targets if you don't open one of your 4 other level 7 Kashtira monsters, and it combines with Rise Heart to make Tomahawk. So yeah, when you don't open Unicorn, but you have the 2 Kashtira monsters, you basically special summon one, and then you normal summon Rise Heart. Make sure you normal summon it so you're not Exceeds Lock. It only Exceeds Locks you if you special Rise Heart with its effect, but if you normal it and just banish a card like a Big Bang, then it just becomes level 7. Then you overlay 2 in the Tomahawk, you put Tomahawk in the main monster zone, you get 4 tokens, and then you turn 1 token into Link Spider, and then there's 2 tokens into Security Dragon. Then with the last token, Link Spider, Security Dragon, plus the Tomahawk, you go into Skuldred and draw 4 cards. And then that basically will unbrick you majority of the time. You draw into a Unicorn, you can use Skuldred to special summon the Unicorn that you draw, and then that gets you a Rise Heart. You could draw combinations of Exosister plus any other Kashtira monster. That will also get you to a Rise Heart. So it turns hands where that couldn't go into a Rise Heart normally, and it lets you go into a Rise Heart while also sculpting your hand for non-engine. So it's not just a Rise Heart, right? But you're drawing the 4 cards. You could draw Ash, you could draw Inperm, and you know, because this is one of the unfortunate drawbacks of the hand trap lineup is Maxi, Droll, and Gamma. While they're really crazy going second cards, if you establish a board, then they're kind of dead. So Saryuja lets you put these dead hand traps back into your deck, and then lets you pick and choose the good hand traps. You know, like Inperm and Ash to keep that help you protect the Rise Heart that you're able to summon now, because you drew 4 cards. Like any deck is gonna unbreak themselves if you let them draw 4 cards. And then the other situations where you go into the Tomahawk line is in grind games. This is the one thing I didn't foresee when I first started playing this package, but a lot of times when you get into a grind game and you play through your opponent's board, then you end up with like a 2 level 7 monster on the field, right? But you've already used your good effects, right? Like you've already used your unicorn, or you've already had to bait out your unicorn, or your fender is already gone. And then you have like a leftover Rise Heart, and then you have like a, an unicorn already uses effect, or like an ogre from last turn, and like random fender that's negated or whatever. When you have only 2 level 7 bodies, before you couldn't really do much with them, right? Like if you wanted to clear the board, you would have to go into something like a Dark Arm Dragon, right? Or a Big Eye, right? But doing that, like you can clear the board, but then these aren't interruptions. They don't let you get anywhere. At most you could like make a Zeus, but more normally your Zeus doesn't have more materials, so it's only a 1 activation Zeus that you have to use to clear the field normally anyway. So you don't really, if you want to clear a board and make a push, like going into one of your rank 7s or into Zeus, then you don't end on any interruptions. And the other line is, if you want to turn your 2 bodies into some form of interruption on your opponent's turn, you'd have to go into Shangri-Ira. But Shangri-Ira applies like negative pressure that turn because it's 0 attack, and you have to, the moment you make Shangri-Ira with 2 level 7s, you're basically passing turn. And then you're depending on special summoning of Shangri-Ira monster from your deck as your only interruption, which is, I mean, 1 Fender is at 1, so it's not even really a viable play anymore, because if you already access Fender, then summoning a second Shangri-Ira doesn't really do anything. You don't have anything, you don't have a Fender to even summon from your deck in the first place. And 2, you can't clear your opponent's board at all. Like it's like if they have anything over like 2500 attack, then like they just get to keep their monster, which never feels good. But now with just 2 level 7s, and assume you didn't Exceed lock yourself, which normally you're probably not exceeding yourself. They would probably stop you before you resolve Theosis, because if you resolve your Theosis, then you have more than 2 level 7 bodies on the field probably. So yeah, but they're gonna negate your access to Theosis, like your unicorn, or just negate the Theosis itself. So you're probably not Exceed lock if you only have 2 level 7 bodies. And then you go into Tomahawk, right? And then you can go into the play. By the way, Security Dragon has a removal effect as well, by the way, so that's good to know. If it's co-linked, you can just return a monster your opponent controls to hand. And then you go into Saryuja, which has beefy attack. You draw 4, and then you get the special summon any Kashtira monster you draw off that. And then, you're probably gonna have Theosis. It's a grind game, so you have like Theosis and Grave, so even getting access to like a Scarecrow Kashtira to banish the Theosis, and then add a card back to follow up. And then you can also like end on, you don't have to end on Rise Heart, but you could like potentially end on I've ended on a Baron before, like just normal summoning Ash and then special summoning the skull, using the Skull Dread to special summon the Kashtira monster I drew, like an Ogre or a Scarecrow Clash, and then go into Baron on the field. Like that's better, and you get to sculpt your hand. Like you're always gonna draw into non-engine. So you're always going to have like a relevant hand trap or 2 that you draw off the Sculpture. Plus you're going to have whatever Kashtira monster you draw into to continue to apply pressure. So yeah, it's good for, it makes your weaker hands better, and it makes your grind game better if you because your Kashtira monsters bait out interruptions by themselves, like because that's just what they do. And then you drop the Tomahawk on top of them after they've used their interruptions, and that's like a game ender right there. So yeah, that's also an explanation for why we're running the Rise Heart and the triple ogre. So yeah, and then again, I mentioned I don't like the Droll and I don't like having to run Droll, because Droll is a card that's it's a hand trap that's dead as soon as you make a Rise Heart. Like Maxi is the same way, but Maxi, at least if they get rid of Rise Heart, you have Maxi as the backup. Like if they out your Rise Heart, a lot of times you don't have anything left to draw, because they've probably already done their searches under the Rise Heart anyway. So then and then you could never draw under that. Then after as soon as they out the Rise Heart, the draws, like it's too late for the draw. It's useless. So like I don't like having to play this card, but you know the format we're in, this kind of necessitates it. But that also makes Gamma better, because I think you gotta run Gamma and Kashtira now, because people are running Droll. That just gives you so many more Gamma targets on your turn. Because now it's not just Maxi, it's not just Ash, which if you Pathfinder into Raidsoft, people will 100% Maxi you before you summon your first Kashtira monster, because why wouldn't they, right? Nobody's playing around Gamma against Cash. So then, yeah, that's a blowout right there. It's a blowout if they try to Ash your Pathfinder. It's a blowout if they try to draw you on your Pathfinder, or they draw you on your Rhoda, or draw you on your Prosperity. Also, if you just pitch Shifter, that also baits out for Gamma, because you know if they have Maxi, they're gonna chain Maxi to a Shifter. So yeah, this resolves so much more on your turn now because of this format. So yeah, I put this back in and I don't regret it one bit. The extra deck is so the Tomahawk package is 1, 2, 3, 4. And then obviously you run the Omega for the Gamma, because you gotta get rid of you gotta clear your field to summon your Kashtira monsters, so that's why you need the Gamma to just clear the field for you after negating their Maxi or negating their Ash or Droll. Baron doesn't come up as much. You go into Baron with combinations when you open like a 2-card combo or a 3-card combo of like Unicorn, Theosis, or Birth, and then the Ash. Obviously with Birth going down to 1, you open that combination less, but it still comes up, and as I mentioned, it comes up a lot that you make Baron after drawing with Skeldred if you went through your Kashtira effect still, so that's still okay. And then, yeah, there's only room for like 3 utility slots. The Zeus, you gotta run Zeus, and then 2 Shangri-Ira, and then minimum 2 Arise Hearts. So you have like 3 spots to play with. Dark Arm Dragon, Big Eye, and the third Rise Heart I chose. I didn't really bother putting in Prosperity targets or targets to attach off of a Rise Heart. Like that just never comes up. Prosperity is a 1. It's not worth wasting cards in your extra deck. Even if this extra deck isn't notoriously tight, it's still like the third Rise Heart has came up like once or twice for me. After like I've made double Rise Heart turn 1 and out of it, I've gone through the third Rise Heart on the next turn as follow up. But yeah, I don't think I've needed something specifically to attach off of Prosperity that would have won me a game. So I don't bother running like the Intis or the Skull Knight or Garura and stuff like that. If anything, you could run Infinitrack Mountain Smasher over the third Rise Heart if you want. Because I know most people don't have 3 Rise Heart, and I obviously you would not scrap the third Rise Heart just for like the 1 out of like 15 games that it might come up. So yeah, you can just play Mountain Smasher as a way to like make a full materials use against decks with weak monsters. Then Big Eye and Dark Armor are obvious. These are necessary in every Kashtira build, I feel. And yeah, Donner, do not cut Donner right now, okay? If you hand trap, what's it called? You hand trap Super Heavy Samurai, they're gonna make a Baguska on you. So you need Donner to out the Baguska. Now, it's nice if you draw into Infirm, but you're not going to draw into Infirm every turn, and you're not going to get a way to Exterior Spot Clash every turn. So, for the games where you don't have access to one of these 4 cards, you need the Donner to still clear the board. And, you know, Donner's a very good card. Like, because, funnily enough, because I'm running Ogre now, I just have more free special summons. So, you can just randomly just special Ogre, normal, a hand trap, and go into Donner, and then that baits out an entire interruption by itself, and then it also clears the board for you to, you know, go over top of your real Kashtira monsters. But you don't have to just take my word for it. You can also watch some of the gameplay with this deck. So let's get through that. So this hand is a textbook example of why we have the Tomahawk package in here. For a hand like this, with just Ogre and Rise Heart, and Ogre and Rise Heart, 2 of each. Obviously, this is kind of useless having multiple copies of these, and this hand does not produce a Rise Heart. So what you do is you just thin out your deck. You know, we didn't get hit by Droll, so that was lucky. And you just normal the Rise Heart after specialing the Ogre. And go into Tomahawk, and you put it in the main monster zone and summon 4 tokens. Thank you, Gaia. And then 1 token goes into Link Spider, 2 tokens go into Security Dragon, and then link all 4 into Saryuja, and then draw 4. And when you draw 4, look at that. That immediately fixes your hand. We got Unicorn, we got Maxi, and we got Ash. And we can put back the Kashtira Big Mine that we drew that's useless, and the extra copy of Ogre, which is also useless. And then you can use the Saryuja Skull Dread to special the Unicorn. And then Unicorn, you know, will get us our Theosis. And then Theosis can summon out Kashtira, Fender, and then Fender will get the Scareclaw Clash. Since we already used Rise Heart's effect, we have to use Scareclaw Clash to special, take out the Theosis, and then you know, that's going to trigger Skull Dread. So keep in mind Skull Dread's effect, a trigger effect to gain 300. It becomes relevant in the most random times, and then we get the Kashtira Ogre back with Theosis. And then go into a Rise Heart. And then we get the Rise Heart with 3300. So you know, a hand with Ogre and Rise Heart can still turn into a Rise Heart while drawing 4 cards. And the 4 cards we drew into Ash and Maxi. If they ever, you know, out the Rise Heart, but Ash is very nice to back up a Rise Heart, and we have the prep still from the Ogre Surge. So if they actually kill a Rise Heart, or if we can, anytime you detach off a Rise Heart, the materials will go to banish, then that immediately makes your preparations live to summon back like a Fender or Unicorn. So our opponent is they're on Branded. I was actually a little bit shocked because they're on a 40 card variant, not a 60 card variant. So here's the thing about playing this like a Rise Heart. It's gonna waste your time. It's gonna like just waste your life away. And here comes the Alibur, which is they add Branded Lost, and because they actually know that the best way to out a Rise Heart is not through Branded Fusion, actually through Fusion Deployment, suddenly Albaz. So I actually ashed the Fusion Deployment instead of Branded Fusion, because the Fusion Deployment is more of a threat. Albaz fusing away the Rise Heart with a Branded Lost in the field is a bit more to my concern than activating Branded Fusion, which is at 1, by the way. They didn't search Branded Fusion. They just hard open Branded Fusion, even though it's limited. So because of that, I'm gonna get rid of the Lost, just so we don't have to deal with the extra searches and stuff. And then Chain Preparation. After I detach my Fender, I can Chain Preparation to summon back the Fender. That way, it's on the field before the Fusion monster, so that when they use the Fusion monster, I get to trigger Fender too. And the most common thing they're gonna go for is Rinbrim, because Rinbrim does out a Rise Heart, funnily enough. Although here we go a Rise Heart Chainlink when these are both mandatory effects, and Skull Dread Chainlink too, and then Theosis Chainlink 3. So we just chain blocked our Rise Heart's mandatory detach from the Rinbrim. So yeah, that's if we didn't have the Theosis, we would still have the Saryuja Skull Dread to chain block the Rise Hearts, reattach to block the chain block from Rinbrim, so Rinbrim can return a Rise Heart back to the extra deck for now. Just not an interaction you see every day. And then they realize that they can't actually out the Rise Heart now, and they've already blown through Branded Fusion, their Alibur Search, and their Fusion Deployment, and they have nothing engraved. So even if they somehow miraculously end this board, it's gonna be really hard for them to establish like anything past the follow-up. If the Saryuja lives, then I get to summon any of these Kashtira monsters to my field again on the next turn. And obviously I have the preparations, is follow-up, and you know, I got 3 Kashtira monsters in hand, plus a Maxi if they ever out the Rise Heart too. So next game, this hand is significantly worse than the previous hand. It's funny to say that because we opened Rise Heart plus Theosis, which is a 2-card combo, And before Rise Heart plus Ogre wasn't, but because we're running the Tomahawk package, Rise Heart plus Ogre actually gets you further than Rise Heart Feels does. So yeah, that's a thing to note. Of course, the only play here is obviously the normal Rise Heart, Banish Fender, and then Feels for Unicorn to add the Birth, and then Birth will bring back the Fender. And then Fender will add back Unicorn, follow up in the next turn, then you make it a 3-2 or Rise Heart and 4 summons. Play around the Biru, I guess. Although it's not like I play around the Biru, this is just the only line of play I have. So, our opponent reveals that they're on Vanquish Soul, and Vanquish Soul does not get FDK'd by a Rise Heart, unlike a lot of other decks do, so it's unfortunate. And then they're gonna Dust Devil. So there's an argument to be made about just letting this go and then flipping my Rise Heart face down, because if they flip it face down, then I have Droll live, and Droll is arguably better against Vanquish Souls than the macro effect of a Rise Heart. But you know, it's up for debate. It ended up being the right choice because they didn't have a hand with Raisin. You know, rare footage of Vanquish Souls not opening Raisin, so the Droll actually wouldn't have affected them that much. And here they're gonna Pantera, and what I really should have done is I should have chained prep to the Pantera and bring back the Fender, because the Pantera itself doesn't do anything, and if the Fender is already on the field, then if they chain Heavy Burger, then the Burger, you know, we can just get that shit out of here. But unfortunately, because I waited too long, now it's too late to summon Prep, because at any point they can just chain Heavy Burger to me summoning back Fender, and then the Fender wouldn't do anything. They could just enter battle phase and run it over. So yeah, that's maybe be a bit more ready to fire off Prep in a situation where you have Fender banished. And they're gonna draw a card, and then end phase I'm still gonna prep to bring back Fender, just to get on the field, you know, free monster, why not? Next they're gonna Snow Devil, and then, you know, of course they have 3 attributes without opening Raisin, but like, of course, you know, they had the Jiaolong, and then the Burger is gonna draw them a card, and my field is gonna be gone, although it doesn't really matter because, you know, we got Birth plus Prep on the field, and they're gonna draw. They drew into. They had a Caesar Valius in hand too, so now I'm gonna Caesar Valius, and they're gonna pop my Birth, and then we're gonna go into the main phase, and I'm gonna Unicorn, and that gets Ash. So they drew one of Caesar Valius or Burger or Ash off the top. So that's very nice. Thank you very much. But check this play out. Okay, so we have 2 level 7 monsters on the field, and by that I mean Prep, bring back Rise Heart. So normally if you have 2 level 7 monsters on the field, you can't really. I mentioned you couldn't really do much because you either make a Shangri-Ira and pass, which is like just terrible. That applies no pressure, or you go into something like a Dark Arm to clear a board. But then it's like the Dark Arm itself is not an interruption, so it doesn't do anything for your opponent's turn. Here, you go into Tomahawk. You're not Exceeds locked because you did not special Rise Heart of its own effect, and you did not use Theosis. So here, we're just gonna. My opponent's probably shooting bricks right now, and I'm here to reassure him that I'm only making a Saryuja out of this. I'm not trying to make like a 5 negate board out of the Tomahawk. Don't you worry. But Saryuja is good enough. I'm gonna draw 4, draw into 3rd Droll. Put all those Drolls back, please, and then we draw into Scareclaw Kashtira. Even just drawing Scareclaw Kashtira is enough, because now you're gonna Theosis, and Theosis is gonna bring back the Unicorn, and then I'm gonna normal summon Ash, go into Baron, and then special the Unicorn with Saryuja. Or I don't know why I did this, because must have forgotten that Tomahawk, but some turn uses effect, you actually don't do battle damage, so there's no point summoning this on the field. I even used its bash effect already, so it's kind of pointless. And yeah, but our opponent is down to 3 cards, and we have Maxi, Infirm, Baron. So 3 interruptions for like their 4 cards, plus a Kashtira Prep that's not live right now, but yeah, they're gonna Pantera, which we knew they had. So here comes the Maxi, and they still didn't reveal they have Raisin yet, and we're gonna get rid of like just all of their extra deck. And here comes the Rock of the Vanquisher, which does nothing. It's gonna get Impermed actually, and now they use the normal summon and their Orger and all their other stuff. They can't summon it out of their deck. I'm gonna tribute summon Jialong, activate triple attack this witch. We're gonna Baron that. You know, Kurt, thanks to Saryuja drawing us Ash plus Kashtira Clash to be able to make Baron. And yeah, it's our opponent knows. So even when you don't end on a Rise Heart, and even when this 4 draws doesn't net you a Rise Heart, you know, just drawing 4 cards and being able to sculpt your hand and keeping the best like 4 cards left is, and putting back bricks, like that's already strong enough to it's already strong enough to play. So this next game, it's we're going second, but this hand is absolutely incredible. This is like the absolute best going second hand you can have besides Big Bang. And our opponent's gonna summon Mudora, activate 5 Rainbow Pass. So you already know this is Labrynth, and they just happen to drew their 2 bricks that they've played with the furniture. So that's so very funny that they opened both of them. And yeah, because this is Labrynth, we have Ash, so we're always fine. We got this Imperm to set, and then we have the Ash for the big welcome. And now they're gonna chain their Lady Labrynth, and then after all this resolves, gonna Unicorn, take away one of their 2 Chaos Angels, and then Unicorn, add Theosis, and use Theosis to get Fenrir, and then they're gonna reveal that they have their set card is Compulse. And you're probably wondering, why didn't they set a trap? Well, as soon as they activated Compulse, they had no set cards. So they actually just got shut off by their own 5 Rainbow. Now, if I had a nickel for every time a lab player got floodgated by their own 5 Rainbow, I would have 2 nickels. Which isn't a lot, but it's strange that it happened twice, right? So yeah, our opponent goes to attack position, doesn't want to actually kill the realizes that their 5 Rainbow stops them from attacking over the Kashtira Unicorn, so yeah, it's you're facing the drawbacks of Mystic Mind there. Yeah, but yeah, it's smart to put in attack anyway because it has more attack. But yeah, here comes Unicorn, which is gonna add Birth. We're gonna activate Birth, normal summon Fenrir, add Rise Heart, special Rise Heart, and activate Inver. Okay, I totally meant to do this. This was totally not a misclick or anything. You know, I was supposed to use Rise Heart's effect first, so I get something banished. But the thing is, they can't trigger their Labrynth right now because they're Lady Lab because they don't have any set cards anyway. So don't worry about that. This is absolutely the easiest bait in the world because the only interruption they have is this big welcome in the grave. Their Mudora really does not do anything versus Kashtira. So if I can get them to use their big welcome before I enter the battle phase, then I can actually just attack the game. The only way they live is if they hold their big welcome to battle phase. So by imperming the 5 Rainbow and then bluffing for some reason, I don't know why you would fall for this. You know, why you would think I didn't have a second card to set. But if you're under the assumption that I don't have a second card to set after imperming the 5 Rainbow, even though I already have this, you know, why would I activate Imperm, right? Like, why would you activate Imperm that's already negating the 5 Rainbow anyways, just to negate the 5 Rainbow and risk getting blocked by the big welcome? So yeah, they take the bait and then they big welcome back their Lady Labrynth so that my Imperm does not negate their 5 Rainbow, which is you know, oh no, I have another card to set. Who could have seen that coming? So yeah, now they used up their big welcome on none of my monsters, so this is way over game, and they cleared their field for me, so thank you very much, Labrynth player. So this was one of the toughest games I've played in my entire climb. It was not against Super Heavy, not against Mathmech, not against Branded. So anyway, this hand sucks. Okay, so again, Rise Heart plus Cat Theosis, and we get Maxi. So now I have to decide if I want to pass, if I want to summon Fenrir and just pass on Fenrir, and plus follow up plus Maxi Imperm, or do I want to make a Rise Heart and giving them 3 draws? So I figured a Rise Heart's really good this format. Why not give them 3 draws? Imperm has fallen out of favor, and if against Super Heavy Samurai, you know, they don't have an out of Rise Heart anyways. So yeah, I'm gonna Rise Heart, banish Fenrir, activate Birth, and then it gets ogred. So yeah, And what is my opponent playing? Well, you won't see, but I banished the Royal Zeus, and they're gonna reveal Exosister pack. So this is Exosister. This is the hardest game I've played. It has nothing to do with the Exosister monster himself, because I'm gonna max seed the Marfa, and that resolves. You know, rare footage of max seed resolving versus Exosisters, and I'm gonna rip the Baguska so that they can't go Baguska past, and they have Sakitama anyways. And those two are gonna go into Michaelis, and I'm gonna just imperm the Michaelis so that they can't get their Returnia or whatever. And they're gonna chain banishing the Maxi. A very smart move, because banishing my Maxi triggers their Martha. Now, unfortunately for them, they're still under Maxi, so I'm still gonna get a draw off of this. Yeah, they're gonna go into Caspatel, then Caspatel will add them another Marfa for follow-up, and they're gonna go into Returnia. Or not Returnia, it's called Magnifica. The card is called Magnifica. So yeah, our board is gone. They're gonna leave the Rise Heart up, which is very smart of them, and they're gonna set 2. And here, I'm gonna normal summon Pathfinder, and you have the we have the race off in hand. So actually, this is for higher play. Please play Donner is one of the most important cards in the Kashtira extra deck. This baits out the Magnifica, one of the Magnifica negates, and then they're gonna go into the Michaelis. And we did draw an Imperm off the top, so we're gonna be able to negate the Michaelis. So there's both their banishes from Magnifica gone. And they're gonna chain Magnifica, banishing a card in my grave, and then chain Vadis, because they, you know, it never mattered. They just hard drew the Vadis anyways off of the Magnifica. Like, why even bother negating the Michaelis anyways? You're just gonna draw that trap anyways. And then obviously that's gonna trigger your Marfa. Your third Marfa, going to Jibreen. Here's where I misplayed. So I race off, add Ogre, and I'd summon Ogre to attack over the Jibreen. Okay, so this is dumb because I wanted to do this because I thought, oh yeah, if I just go summon Ogre and then they negate the Ogre, it's whatever, right? That was let me get my Kashtira Unicorn out, right? And then I'm like, wait, my birth is already in the grave, so Unicorn doesn't add me anything useful. So I'm like, oh, whoops. It turns out that the Ogre searching preparations was a better search than Unicorn searching whatever. So yeah, that's unfortunate right there. So I actually go for the Rise Heart, because realizing that Unicorn doesn't add me anything important, so I'd rather just Rise Heart and then banish the Theosis to hit back a Fender, I guess. Then we're gonna go into Pangarira, and then they have Nibiru. So they have the Nibiru too. So this is the hand trap battle here. And then they're gonna Pax, get Stella, special Stella on the end phase. And here they're gonna Duster me, Duster my Big Bang stuff. That was a blood. That card ain't doing anything anyways. Then they're gonna special Marfa, and then Michaelis is going to add them. That is, and I don't droll here because there's no point drolling, because they're not gonna do any more searching for the turn. Anyways, they couldn't summon Marfa because of Nibiru, by the way, if people are asking. It's because you have to control only Exo monsters. So now we're against Vadis, and this is the best. Dude, I had to top deck Ash to win this game against fucking Exosister. Like, Jesus Christ. They're gonna chain Vadis, and then we're gonna do Ash the Vadis. Thank God. I don't have to deal with that anymore. And this is still not a very clean way, because the way I sequence my plays, my birth is still in the grave, so I can't add the birth back. I have to still banish the Theosis, and then Theosis is gonna add back a Rise Heart. The Rise Heart. And it's not gonna add a Rise Heart, it's gonna add a Rise Heart. No, the now, not the level 4, not the extract monster. And I'm gonna special the Rise Heart, banish Ogre. This is not the best play that I ever done. I'm pretty sure there was a better play. Like, literally, I'm gonna say it right now. The best play was to make do Tomahawk and the Saryuja. That was the best play. Okay, doing the Rise Heart 1-0 Rise Heart shit. This is not a good play. Okay, I mean, it probably didn't matter, but like it was still going to Tomahawk to Saryuja to draw 4 cards, try and draw into Handtraps is probably better than this, because this ends up doing is I just attack over the Michaelis, right? So that they're left with the Nibiru token on the field. And thankfully they're out of Marthas. They went through all 3 Marthas, so they couldn't win this game anyways. But I'm just saying that this is not like this was not the strongest thing I can make. They could Nibiru crash, and like because they don't have any Marthas, they can't win the game anymore anyways. But like, yeah, it's you had to resort to outgrinding 3 Marthas against Exosister to win. Like bro. Okay, so we're going second in this game, and we open Shifter, so that's already an amazing going second hand. And we open Unicorn too, like Chef's Kiss. And our opponent's on Bestials as well, like that's incredible. 60 cards. And we're gonna activate Imagining. Okay, so you definitely Shifter on the Imagining. Okay, you like 100% shift from the Imagining. Imagining has a graveyard effect, which actually comes into play, so you don't want this in the grave, and they could potentially draw into Called by the Grave, which you also don't want on their Shifter. So yeah, I don't know. I was respecting Gamma too much. Yeah, you shouldn't respect Gamma against Mannadium properly, because I don't think I've done Gamma against Mannadium once, and I don't even think they even played even in 60. So yeah, the Shifter should have been dropped here, and we're gonna draw 2, go into Reamheart. It's gonna add Obsidian, and we're gonna special Meek and then Obsidian. Here's where we Shifter, and here's where we don't get punished because they didn't draw the Call by off the 2 cards. Lucky us, although really should have never got that far in the first place. And yeah, they're gonna add Calarium, and I'm just gonna Ash the Meek because I know they have Libellion access. Because unfortunately, Shifter is a dark monster, so they can summon Magnum by banishing our own Shifter, and then they have Libellion, and then the Meek something else as a tuner, they can make like a level 10 synchro off that. I just don't want to deal with more tuners they have. And they're gonna add Vsauce off Calarium, and as I mentioned, special Magnum Blood by banishing the Shifter, get the Magnum Blood effect, and then Imagining turns Reamheart into a tuner. This is where I got punished. Because I didn't Shifter on the fucking Imaginings, now they have a Dissipator for free that they wouldn't have had otherwise. So yeah, whoopsie. And then that's gonna bring back the Magnum Butt, and then the Magnum Butt gets hit with the Libellion. And here, if they played Branded Beast, I lost, but they played Etude. Now I understand the logic of not running Branded Beast. Okay, I don't understand the logic of running Etude of the Branded over Branded Beast, because you 100% get Beast if you play it, but instead they get this thing, which does absolutely nothing against me, against the Shifter deck of all things. And they can't really synchro on their turn, with this card either, so they have no tuners. And here I'm gonna special Ogre, and then they're gonna Ash the Ogre. Now you probably shouldn't Ash the Ogre. This seems like bait. Like, definitely don't Ash the Ogre in this situation, because you're gonna see what happens here. Okay, here comes Maxi, by the way, coming in clutch. Well, after I banish 5 cards, yeah, this doesn't really matter. We're not getting to the next turn. We're gonna normal summon Maxi. Gonna go into Donner, Dagger for Hire. Donner, hit the Dissipator. They really should have used negated the effect. Like, they should have shuffled my Ogre back. That way it's not a birth target, and it negates my Donner, so it forces them to enter battle phase to attack into the Dissipator, which they put in attack, by the way. That's another misplay. So because it was an attack, it didn't matter. I could clear it anyways, and then special Unicorn, and then we have the full. We just have full Kashtira combo. The feels like it's banished, and we even get to add the Ogre back to hand, and then Fenrir adds Rise Hard, and with this we can go into Shangri Era, and then Rise Hard banish, Big Bang, and then Dr. Zones get the Fenrir back, attack over, clear their board, and then establish a Rise Hard on their turn. So yeah. Should have been a lot. Should not have had to go through all that trouble to beat Mannadium after shiftering them. But you live and you learn. Okay, so next up we're playing against someone named Super Heavy Samurai Gen Waste. They're not even on Super Heavy Samurai. Spoilers. Sorry. But yeah, what they are on is Okay, so let's do the math here. Okay, just quickly do the math. They have 5 cards in hand, right? And they have 54 cards left in the deck. This means they're running a 59 card deck. Who the hell plays a 59 card deck? Like you really just couldn't find that one last card to fill it out, so you get an extra middle off grass. Like, come on, 59 cards. What kind of heathen witchcraft is this? So yeah, because we prosperity into a rate off. This is full combo, actually more than full combo. This is Unicorn plus Kashtira, Scarecrow Clash. Unicorn plus either Rise Heart or Scarecrow Clash is double Rise Heart. You know, when we have the option to make double Rise Heart, we're doing it every time. So here comes Shangri-La, then banish the Big Bang, and then lock his own. Doesn't matter because this Shangri-La is not long for this world anyways. We can overlay a Rise Heart on top of it. Special Scarecrow Clash, banish the Theosis. Theosis get back Big Bang, attach the Theosis for follow up, and then go into a double Rise Heart. Double Rise Heart. Okay, so this is pretty good against most decks. Against our opponent, they're on Infernoid. So unfortunately, this Antra outs one of the Arise Hearts, so it's gonna bait it out anyways. So I might as well just use the Arise Heart and then detach 3, trigger Theosis. We'll trigger both my Arise Hearts first. You know, love the mandatory effects on Master Duel, and then Theosis is gonna add back Unicorn for follow up, and yeah, reattach the Theosis, reattach the Shangri-La, and our opponent's gonna tactics, and gonna tactics for draw 2. Anytime your opponent faces double Arise Heart and they're using tactics to draw, you know something sus is going on. And in fact, okay, after this shit, like this takes forever in real time without the speed up button, and they're gonna Dark Lure no more. So that's what they were up to. They're gonna Dark Lure no more in my field. With they're gonna. I'm not gonna mention what that looks like, what that animation looks like. Here's why I don't like. Here's why I hate Dark Lure no more, especially in a deck like Infernoids. So, I dropped Maxi, and now they lost the game because, you can't kill me under Dark Lure no more. So you're gonna have to break my board. In breaking my board, you're gonna give me a shit ton of cards. Even if you get your full setup, which they do, because they're gonna left arm for reasoning, and you know I'm figuring out. I might as well. I don't even draw because, frankly, it doesn't matter. I might as well just keep the draws in my hand. And here they're gonna. Yeah, how was your guys' day, by the way? I can't believe they didn't do anything to speed up the fucking excavation animation yet. Like this is. We're on 34 cards. Imagine, this is why I could never play Infernoids. I could not go through every single game just excavating all these cards. Because Grass mills. Grass does it all at once. Then you get to see your entire graveyard immediately. Reasoning and Monster Gate, like you gotta sit through this in real time, by the way, not sped up. Here, let me show you the speed in real time without the speed up. Like, look at this, like 30 cards per reasoning. You gotta do this every single fucking game after watching your opponent play. Like, I do not have the patience to play this, to play that deck. Yeah, they're still going, by the way. They finally hit Snow, and Snow set this phase out. They probably shouldn't have set the Rise Heart, because it's not like they care about the macro effect anyways. And yeah, we're drawing cards under Max C, and they enter battle phase. They can't kill us. And I'm gonna Big Bang. I think they're gonna trigger their sights in us, because they're gonna lose their Snow anyways. So they might as well just sack it off. And then I'm gonna get rid of that Rise Heart, and then they're gonna attack into this Rise Heart, and then I'm just gonna Rise Heart there's sights in Moss, and then they're in main phase 2, and now there's really no point, because again, they're on a Dark Ruler, they can't kill me. So they can't do anything, because if they do anything, they're just gonna give me more cards. They have to live, pray that their Snow is enough. And one of the attaches off of Product Prosperity was Omega. So goodbye Snow. They could chain Snow, but then it would be on the field, and then they wouldn't do anything anyways. So yeah, we have game on board, because we have the Birth, and then Bender for Ogre, normally Ogre, and yeah, that game took a lot longer in real time than it did in the replay. I guess last thing is, this meta is probably one of the better metas for Kashtira in a while, because its hardest matchups, basically the matchups where a Rise card does the least against, are they got either hit by the ban list or as hard as a Rise, as hard as Kashtira did, or they're just not seeing much play since the new pack. That includes basically that was Pearly and Vanquish Souls and like Stun, and all of those are seeing a huge decrease in play. Meanwhile, the most common deck is Super Heavy Samurai, which is a pendulum deck that does not run main deck outside the Rise card besides the Handtraps, and if you even just Shanger Era popping blocking a zone just blocks a good portion of their deck already. And then every other deck like Mannadium, Mathmech, Branded, they all care to varying degrees about a Rise Heart. Branded is probably the deck that's most capable of playing through a Rise Heart, but it's not like they don't care about it. It's still a thing. And then the hand traps being played are stuff like Droll, and I've seen Crow and like Ogre, which are just hand traps that are not as effective against Kashtira as they are against the rest of the meta. And especially like Droll, there are many times I've gotten Drolled, and it just literally does not matter, because if you just draw an extra Kashtira monster instead of the Droll, then like it's like the Droll never happened, right? You have like a 50%, well, I don't know the exact math, but you have a pretty good chance of making a Rise Start still after getting Drolled. Like, yeah, getting Drolled on Pathfinder does suck. That's like the one part where Droll is good against your deck. That's why we're running the Gamma to punish the Droll on that. But like, if they Droll your Unicorn Surge, you like, if I already hard drew one of my 4 copies of Rise Start, it doesn't matter. I'm still making a Rise Start through a Droll after extra deck ripping you, and then yeah, we go from there. Play into a Rise Start with 5 cards instead of 6.